In my previous video, was iOS 7 created in Microsoft Word? I did get a lot of comments that my screen in Word is static while the one on the iPhone is actually dynamic. You know that the calendar and the clocks icon are changing. Today I want to show you that it's actually possible to create a dynamic home screen even in Word. As you can see on this example, those clocks are working, and if I open the time setting for a system, you can see that the time is right. It is also true for the calendar icon. If I scroll up here, you can see that even if you can't understand the word čtvrtek, it is today. Also, those numbers do match. We will not start with the blank document, but we will use the previously created one. The only difference is that only this text box, the clocks icon and the calendar icons are separate objects. Everything else is merged into the background image. We will start with the calendar icon because it's easier. I will zoom in a little and maybe ungroup it and rename those two text boxes to have some more meaningful name. That is, for example, text box calendar day name, and some similar name to the second text box. Now we want to add some code, Visual Basic code, to dynamically change those two labels. In order to work with the code, we have to show the developer ribbon. That is, right click, select customize ribbon, select the developer one. And because we want somehow to work with those two objects, it may be a good idea to record a temporary macro which will help us with selecting those two objects. We can click record macro, name it for example temp select objects. Select the first one, select the second one, and that's it. We can stop recording and open this macro. And here are those two lines which will be helpful in the future, so we can copy it into the clipboard, close this, make it a little bit smaller so we can see both at the same time. And in here I'll click on this document, and because we want to change those labels when we open the document, I will select document, open, delete those two lines, so this macro will run when we open the document. I will paste those two lines, but we don't want them to be selected, so I will delete this select part and instead add a text frame, text range and text, and I want the text to show the day name, so I will use a format statement now, and in here I will insert for these. That will insert a day name. I will copy this part, paste it on the second page as well, or second line as well, and in here we want just the day number, so I will add only 2 Ds. And that's basically it. I don't need to even close and open this document again. When we have the cursor positioned somewhere in the subroutine, I can just click the run button, and you can see that it immediately changes to the right date. The clock icon takes a little bit more preparation. We need to ungroup this object, select all those tiny little numbers, group them together and hide them for a while so they are not in our sight. And now we need to rotate those 3 hands in order to be straight forward. Because those are made from lines, we don't have the rotation handle, so we have to rotate it using this resize handle, and do the same for the hour hand and the minute hand, just like this. We want to copy paste this oval, set a different outline and no fill, and align it with all those hands to the center, and then copy paste this oval 2 more times, move it to the right spot, and now we want to select oval with one hand, group it together, select another oval with the second hand, group it together, and do it 1 more time for the third oval and third hand. Group it together. We may want to move it a little bit off so we can see what is what, and rename it properly. That is, this is the clock and hour. The second one is clock and minute, and the third one is clock and second. Okay, now we can align everything properly and move it back to the right spot. So we can move to adding some code. In the developer ribbon, open the Visual Basic, and we will add a new routine, which we will call, for example, timer run. And we will use this part of code, so we don't need to write it from scratch. We just need to adjust the name of the objects, which is, for example, clock and second, and we want to rotate it, so we will set the rotation to second of right now. And because the second goes from 0 to 60 and the rotation goes from 0 to 360, we need to multiply it by 6. And we will do the same for minute. We just need to adjust the write the right name and set it to minute of now. And one more time for hour. But in here we need to multiply it by 30 because we only have 12 hours. And to make the movement smooth, we will also add a little bit from the minute. And you can see that one tick mark of hour is 30 and minute is 60, so we'll divide it by 2. Adding a few brackets should not hurt. So just in case, I will add a few brackets, and we have some code. Now, if we have the cursor inside this subroutine, and I will click the run button, you can see that the time is just about right. The only problem is that it is not updating, and I don't want to click on this button all the time. We have to add a timer. To do so, we will type in application on time, which will run something on the specified time, and we set the when to now plus time value of 1 second, that is 0 hours 0 minute 1 second, and name, that is what to run, is our subroutine, which is the timer run. And we will copy paste it also inside this document open, so when we open the document it will update the clock icon as well. So if I click here, click run, you can see that it is updating. We just need to hide this oval, this one, and this one, show the labels, and that's almost it. We just need to move those two small ovals like here. Okay. Updating the time for the tab label in the header is the easiest part. Again, we will rename the text box to maybe header time, show the Visual Basic, and in our timer runner routine we will use one of those lines, set the right name, that is the text box, header time. We will not rotate it, but instead use this part to update the text and format it with the hours and minute, that is hours and minutes. And if I run this code, you can see that it shows the right time. The clock icon is dynamic, but it still acts as a standard symbol, so we can, for example, select it, copy it into the clipboard, paste it as a PNG image, and you have a nice timestamp which you can, for example, save as a PNG image, or you can add some information, or you can wait a while, select it one more time, again copy it into the clipboard, paste it again, and you can see that those images are a little bit different because it also always shows the time in which the object was copied. If you like this video and want to learn something new, don't forget to check my new free ebook 7 Best Text Effects in Microsoft Word, which you can read online for free on iShoe. So read the book, learn something new, and have fun. Thank you.